Hello. Hello. All right, perfect. Okay, let me turn that now. All right. So you guys can hear me. Yeah, it's doing that weird mic thing, man, again. Let's try this again. All right. Let's try this. Hopefully you guys doing good. I am on my cellular device this time, my cell phone, because the quality looks better uh, than uh than the laptop. But the mic for the laptop is real good. If you guys here, leave a comment down below. Today is a little different, man. I'm not bringing nobody up today. Today's gonna be a study sesh. We're just reading things through, putting you guys on, seeing how I study, seeing how I break things down. But yeah, today's gonna be calm, cool, collective, chilling. Obviously, you guys can leave comments down below. See, look, I'm famous. He is already having that issue. Look at that. All right. To avoid those issues, let's do this, right? Let's avoid those issues. With that being said, we got the reading of the word today. The reading of the word. The reading of the word, actually, let me actually show my face for this one. All right, the reading of the word today is First Peter chapter 3, verse 15. First Peter chapter 3, verse 15. Yeah, man. And have a little sit down and talk too. Um, I think sit downs and talk are real good and real needed sometimes. All right, we're gonna read First Peter chapter 3, verse 15. First Peter chapter 3, verse 15, the verse of the day before we get into whatever we're about to get into. It says, "But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts and always be ready to give a defense to everyone who asks you a reason for the hope that is in you with meekness and fear." All right. That is the reading of the word today. If you guys are here, you guys comment down below. You guys like it up. Whatever the case may be, do whatever is necessary. And yeah, I'm famous. Don't forget that I'm very famous because it keeps doing that. I'm very famous because I'm using my cell phone. Very famous. All right. Besides the fact, I actually want to keep talking, man. Hopefully, it doesn't give that continuous issues. But I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. Today's just a chill study sesh day, and I just want to give my thoughts, opinions on things, and how I see things. So just to sit back and relax. One thing I was thinking about is that like there's so much things like I want to like study. Like I want to study, like I want to read. Like I'm a person who love knowledge. Like I love seeking and learning new things. Like it's like a high to me. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what it is. It's like a high to me. When I learn something, when I grow in something, it's like a high. Like it's something that like I want more of. Like I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to learn. I want to continue to add these knowledge in my mind. This is something that I take great joy in. And I'm just trying to, build expounding knowledge. The way that I got expounding knowledge, since this is just a sit down study session, things like that. Whoever joins, joins. Who doesn't. None of my business. I'm just gonna enjoy talk and things like that, make it natural. The reason why I came up with expounding knowledge is because I expound means to go upon, to go above, and things like that. I like to do that when it comes to knowledge. I like to go above and beyond. And if I don't know something, that's okay. That's how you become go above and beyond by growing in that knowledge, by growing in that understanding. So I never like felt bad like if I said I don't know something because that's the first way to gain knowledge is by saying you don't know. And yeah, I think that's the first step of growth, first step of anything is admitting that thing. But yeah, besides that, I was just thinking, brainstorming today, and I got some good things coming up for this channel. Some good things, man. Some good things. I emailed some scholars. Hopefully they answer, and if they don't, I already got one rejection, which is okay. Like I'm not a known person or my platform is not big or anything like that. So some scholars may not be willing. Some may be willing. Like I had one scholar who had the niceness. I didn't record it or put it on my YouTube channel, but I did it like in secret, or I did in secret to gain knowledge, right? Because when I was studying the book of Luke, so there's a time where I was studying the book of Luke, understanding its context. At a certain point in time, I wanted to write a commentary about every single book. I'm not even joking or trolling. That was literally one of my goals and desires. But my goals and desires starts to change and things like that. But one thing that I could truly, truly, truly say, something that I could really say is that yeah, I had Daryl Bach. Daryl Bach. He's very known for the Book of Luke and the Book of Acts and stuff like that. So hopefully I could get some scholars up in here so I can make a nice, good video, not like a live stream or anything, but like make it a video series where like I ask them questions and things like that and get different perspectives of different scholars. And I got Christian and non-Christian scholars. So I got best of both worlds, you could say. Hopefully they respond back. If they don't, that's okay too. We still gonna do what we gotta do because that's it at the end of the day. But hopefully they say something. Hopefully, that's what I'm praying for. But I know anything and everything is possible. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. Also, another thing that I want to talk about is that man, I got some man. I'm working, man. I'm in the works. I'm in the works. Oh snap, guys! If you guys keep seeing these things happen, it's because I'm famous. Okay, either somebody's texting me or somebody's calling me or somebody's doing something. It's either those two things. So I have to kind of watch out for that. But yeah, like I said again, every Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays are live streams, right? I've done a lot of yapping, so we're gonna get to studying. We're still reading this book. I think I may skim over this book, and the reason why is because I was going to look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 22. And the reason why I was going to specifically look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 to 22 is specifically for like studying and stuff like that. So I have some scholars who I'm gonna let's go hurry up and go to Prolego. All right, you guys can't see it. Perfect. All right, let's share my screen now. Oh yeah, sorry guys. I'm always having studying and stuff like that. I'm always studying. I'm an inquiring learner. All right, so I have Baruch, oof. Yeah, they don't have that book. John. Or, okay, he does have the commentary on Leviticus. But which chapter? Which chapter? It says volume 4. What does volume 4 encompass? All right, let's see. So we're gonna take a look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 to 22. I don't think this is helping. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Let's see if we can find another one. Gordon Wenham. All right, perfect. He got the book of Leviticus. Whew, I was about to say. I was about to say. I was about to say. But yeah. Oof. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I am tired. But we are gonna do to 9 o'clock today. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Yo, why the quality looking straight garbaggio? Yo, hold on. Let's fix this, man. Not gonna lie to you. Yo, why this thing looking straight garbaggio, man? Oh nah. We don't do garbage quality. Oh nah. They need to get that thing fixed, boy. Alright, let's see. Yeah, the quality is not looking so good. You know, how about this? It looked like I'm just gonna have to finish that book and things like that. That's what it looking like to me. All right. All right, so it says LE. So I'm pretty sure it's the law of. I think it's this. The law of. Don't really how to pronounce it like that, but something of those lines. No, it's definitely something. And this is the law of Hammurabi. Excuse me, as it's unlawful taking possession of slave, but they can also be put into the category of theft because in both laws, a slave is listed among other merchant items such as animals, sheep and donkey, and metals, gold and silver. These two laws concern a buyer who cannot provide proof or contract of his purchase under which such a failure constitutes proof of theft, similar to the issue of harboring a slave and the law of a I don't know how to pronounce that last name, but I'm pretty sure it's that law, where regards slave harboring as theft but provides no punishment. And the law of Hammurabi, in which regulates slave harboring, it is a capital crime. Ellie and LH each follows their own legal logic and principles of punishment. Ellie also claims that without a proof of slave purchase, it's a behavior of theft, yet does not provide punishment. According to LH7, the one who holds a slave without purchasing proof should be sentenced to death. So the one who holds a slave without purchasing proof should be sentenced to death. So we kind of see this connection because we know in the law in the scriptures that you cannot kidnap a man. So unlawfully taking possession of a slave, that there's really no, I guess in the law of Hammurabi and the other ancient Near East context, there's really no severe punishment. We want to go to the sections that matter to our studies. I think it was this one. So, all right, yeah, it's definitely this one. It says violation against another person's slave property rights and punishment. All right, now we get into the good stuff. The laws regarding violation against another man's slave property rights and punishment can be classified into these diverse categories: sexual offense, injury, and accidental and incidental death. These stipulations apparently indicate that the ancient Near East laws regard slaves as property, and their concerns are mostly about the master's property rights. All right, so let's look at the other ancient Near East. So this is LU. This is the law of oh no, I didn't mean to copy. It's right here. I think I have it like in one of these things. No, no, I think it's this one. Yeah, the law, the Namun Law Code. So this is I pulled it up right here just in case if you guys need it. Is the Namun Law Code. So that's what the LU is. So just if you guys didn't know. So it says Law Namun 8. So let's take a look at that. Let's see what that says. It says, if a man proceeded by force and deflowered the virgin slave woman of another man, that man must pay 5 shekels of silver. So if a man proceeded by force, so this one says by force. So that means he took the woman and forcefully lied with her. That's what I'm assuming. And deflowered the virgin slave woman of another man. So like this woman, we could see in the context of this, is not treated for much of nothing, to be honest with you. Definitely something to put in perspective. So let's go back to that. And the law of, I already mentioned this. This is the law. It's the law of. Don't really know how to pronounce the name of these all so well, so it's just better for me to just write it down. So this is, I think I'm missing an H. Yeah, something along those lines. All right. And it addresses a common problem of raping another person's female slave. Should this happen, the offender shall weigh and deliver 5 shekels or 20 shekels, okay, of silver as compensation for the master. The difference between these two is that the LU8 notes that the slave woman is a virgin, while LE stresses that the female slave remains the property of the master. Both laws parallels other cases in their own law books, LU6 and LE26 respectively. But the parallel one concerns the grape of a freeman's daughter who is betrothed. The two cases of LU6 and LE26 also both carry a death sentence. The two cases, oh, they do. Other analogous stipulations in various ancient Near East laws collections, such as LH 130, which is the law of Hammurabi 130. Let's take a look at that. All right. If anyone's, oh, this is law 136, right? No, it says 130. Is this the law of Hammurabi again? Let me see. Maybe it's this one. I think they're about the same thing. Oh, no, this is the Hittite laws. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. No wonder I can't find it. It's the law of Hammurabi. Okay. I thought, no, but that's the Hittite laws. I'll take a look at it later. So just shows that the crime of raping a betrothed woman is always punishable by death. So a betrothed woman, so a woman who's betrothed, and betrothal just means a woman who's about to get married real soon, right? She's going through that little phase. Graping a female slave carries a fine of 5 shekels of silver, but graping a free man's daughter leads to capital punishment. In the first case, graping a slave woman is regarded as a tort. Interesting. Something wrong that somebody does to somebody else that is not criminal, but that can lead to an action in a civil court. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it's not like a criminal offense, it's like a civil court offense. Okay. That's what I'm assuming from the text. So raping a slave woman is regarded as a tort, so as a civil law. So it's not looked upon as a criminal law, but as a civil law. Understand? These laws show that slave is mostly regarded as chattel in the ancient Near East laws. Sexual intercourse with another man's betrothed slave woman, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 to 22. This is why I wanted to study that, because I read this part yesterday. So we're just gonna keep it up. I like this sit down reading sesh because somebody could be edified by this and things like that. The law of Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 to 22 addresses a man who has sexual intercourse with a betrothed slave woman. In this case, the man and the slave woman should not be put to death because she has not yet been released. The man is required to bring guilt offering to Yahweh, and the priest shall make atonement for him, and his sin will then be forgiven. B.A. Levine suggests that Exodus chapter 21, verse 7 and 11 is the legal background for this law that accounts for situations where Israelite girls were sold by their fathers due to extreme deprivation. And that's what most people don't want to realize, that, oh, why is a female or a woman or a girl becoming a slave? It's because of extreme deprivation. Their father's not able to take care of them. Their family's not able to take care of them. So they get a dowry or a bride price where they'll get, like, the father and the family will get like food, clothing, possession, or a home, whatever the case may be, so they could be set. And their daughter goes to a family who's rich, who got money. So you know your daughter is not going to be in extreme deprivation like how she was when she was with the dad. So I think it's very hard for people to digest this culture, to digest these things. So when the girl reaches a marriageable age, her master was required to do one of the three things: marry her himself, designating her for his as his son's wife, or allowing her to be redeemed. Being redeemed just means allow somebody else to get the opportunity to marry her. But she could not be sold to a foreign nation. If you guys are familiar with Exodus chapter 21, verse 9. I actually just made a YouTube short about that, like, not too long ago, like literally not too long ago. When the girl reaches a marriageable age, I think I read that, yeah. The last option, I'm right here. The last option provides the possibility that she could be redeemed by another man who wished to take her as a wife. For Levine, the girl is called um, a ved, which is a female slave, previously discussed in chapter 3, which refers to an Israelite female slave. This situation is the background to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 to 22. Upon review, though Levine's suggestion is plausible, it is not clear if the slave woman exclusively denotes as an Israelite girl. The text itself provides the legal background. Due to the ambiguous status of the slave girl who's betrothed but not yet been freed, her owner has no right to receive compensation. Her status also contributes to the man lenient punishment, being spared the death penalty. Scholars have long noticed that the betrothed slave girl is not considered to be as blameworthy as her paramount. M.F. Rooker illustrates that possible pathos of the slave girl. So what I do want to study is that, because some people will say, look, the Bible doesn't say anything because it wasn't a freed woman and things like that, that she was forced against her will and things like that. So I just want to understand the context. I kind of like Levine's what you call it, understanding of it. So let me give you the main point of his argument. So the main point of Levine, or Levine, whatever you say his name to be, the main point of his argument is that we're supposed to read Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 to 22 in conjunction with Exodus chapter 21, verse 7 to 11. And in Exodus chapters 21, maybe I should pull that up. You know what? Let me pull that up, actually. Let me actually pull that up for you guys. Let me pull that up so we can read it side by side. So we side by side. Side by side. So yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. All right, let's go back to it. All right. So Exodus chapter 21, verse 7 to 11. If a man sells his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the man's servants do. Wait, did I do New King? Yeah, there we go. All right. And if a man sells his daughter to be a female slave, she should not go out as the male slaves do. Well, let me make sure my audio is working. My audio's all right. Okay, my audio's working. All right, perfect. So we know that the reason why a man will sell his daughter is because extreme deprivation. He can't take care of his daughter. So what? He's gonna sell his daughter to somebody else who can take care of his daughter. And if a man sells his daughter to be a female slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master who has betrothed her to himself, he shall let her be redeemed. So remember the three options that they said? The first option is that this man can choose to marry her himself, give her to his son, or let her be redeemed. Allowing her to be redeemed is to allow somebody else the chance to marry the daughter. Because now this, I guess you could say, now this master has ownership sounds kind of crazy, but has authority over this daughter, right? Because the father no longer has that authority. The reason why the father no longer has that authority is because he has given her to someone else because he can't take care of her. And in the ancient Near East, or at least in the law of Moses. Oh, you need me to enlarge the text, TP Seeker? Okay, I got you. Let me see. Yo, wait, hold up. Yeah, I can enlarge it. Give me 1 second. Let me enlarge it. I got you. Hold up. I'm doing it right now. All right. So yeah, hopefully it's good or better now, TP. Man, maybe that's what I need to figure out. The quality is not looking good too. Ah, wait. There you go. There you go. I enlarged it. I did Command Plus since I'm on MacBook. There you go. I think that should be a little better. All right, so it says, I lost my train of thoughts. So let me read verse 8 and 9. It says, if she does not please her master who has betrothed her to himself, then he shall let her be redeemed, and he shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has dealt deceitfully with her. And if he has betrothed her to his son, he shall deal with her according to the custom of daughters. Okay, so yeah. So keep this in mind. Ancient Israel, things like that. You're poor, you're not rich, right? So you sell your daughter to a wealthy people. Wealthy people are people who are good enough to take care of your daughter. So as as this man that you now give into your daughter, he could either take your daughter to be a wife, he could take your daughter to be the wife for his son, or he could take that daughter and give it to another man who wants to take care of that that child, of that girl, right? Daughter doesn't matter. It doesn't say the age, and he will have to treat her to what? According to the custom of daughters. So if he doesn't take the wife for himself, yes, technically planned marriages, pretty much pretty much what it is. And I think people have a hard time digesting that. And the father would get a bride price. So what a bride price is that the family of the daughter is getting something in return for their daughter going off to a wealthy family and things like that. So it's called a bride price, which also known as a dowry. A dowry is more from like the male perspective. So you have a dowry and a bride price. And so let's look at Leviticus 19:20. Whoever lies carnally with a woman who's betrothed to a man as a concubine. So we see that this woman is betrothed. That means she is about to get married. So this woman is about to get married because she's betrothed. She's not yet married, but she's betrothed to a man as a concubine, and has not at all been redeemed, nor given her freedom. So she has not been redeemed. So we just read in Exodus chapter 21, verse 7 to 11, where he has to let her be redeemed if he's not taking her as a wife for himself or a wife for his son, or the third option, which is to be redeemed, nor given her freedom. For this there shall be scourging, but they shall not be put to death because she was not free. So they're both in the wrong. That's what it sounds like in the text. There would be scourging, but they should not be put to death. And I like how it said they shall not. So it's talking about both of them. It's not talking about one individual. So it shows that both of them are not going away scot free. They're still going to get scourging. And he shall bring his trespass offering to the Lord to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, a ram as a trespass offering. The priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Lord for his sin which he has committed, and the sin which he has committed shall be forgiven him. But the thing I don't understand, it talks about that the sin of the man shall be forgiven. I'm assuming I want to continue to read, and that's why I want to study it. Is that the reason why it's mainly on the man is because the woman wasn't free. If the woman was free, both of them will have to give an offering up to the Lord. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. Let's continue to read, actually. This is how we learn. Being a slave, the woman may have felt she had little recourse in resisting a man who was a free man, and thus more powerful both in social and economic spheres. That the free man must bear responsibility is suggested by the fact that the female slave was not required to bring the guilt offering sacrifice. So it's technically sounding like you're saying the female slave or female servant, like she was almost swayed into doing this because the authority that this man probably had, or the social economic power that this man may have, that she felt like she had like no choice. Okay, all right. I mean, definitely something I want to go back and study on. NK, I'm just gonna say NK, suggests that the slave girl is regarded as the possession of another man who has betrothed her. So her behavior does not constitute adultery. The offense is expiated. What does the word mean? Expiated. Open dictionary. All right. Words not found. All righty then. All right. Atone for guilt. Okay. Interesting. All right. The offense is atoned by offering the reparation offering for what is in view is the breaking of an oath between the slave girl and her fiance. In spite of this, Leviticus 19:20 to 22 cannot be. Oh, let me make it bigger because you said make it bigger. All right. I made it more bigger, TP Seeker. I made it more bigger. The offense is okay, I read that. In spite of this, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 to 22 cannot be counted as parallel laws to the previous graping case in LU8, LE31, LU8, and LE31 can be viewed as parallel. Leviticus 19, 20, 21, on the other hand, is not. Interesting. So they believe that Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 to 22 is nowhere near the same through the other ancient Near East laws. They believe like the other ancient Near East laws, what you call like LU8 and LE31. So LU8 is just the law of Namu. So this is the law of Namu. See, it says if a man proceeded by force and deflowered, let's make it bigger. If a man proceeded by force and deflowered the virgin slave woman of another man, that man must pay 5 shekels of silver. Oh, dude, thanks. Talk about timing. Had to step away. Okay. Yeah, thank you, TP, man. I appreciate you joining in, man. Joining in, man. Definitely a good supporter. I appreciate you. So yeah, so you see how this scholar, right? I don't know where this scholar hangs. I don't know if she's a Christian or not. I don't know. I can't really tell you or anything like that. I don't know if she's Jewish, but one thing I can tell you, she disagrees that these ancient Near East laws, like the law of Namu, let me show it again. This law right here is no way like the biblical law. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. You gotta stay educated, man. Especially in learning cultures that are so different from us. Like the way we do law is different in how they went about judging and things like that. It says injuring another man's slave. All right, let's talk about this one. This one is very important. While Exodus chapter 21, verse 20 to 21 claims to punish an Israelite master who strikes a slave to death, there is ambiguity. Ugh. 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 Said that kind of ugly, but who cares? Regarding the punishment, NS indicates that according to the rabbinic tradition, the stem of the verb is that the word naham? Maybe. Definitely have to look that up. All right, I'll highlight this one. Means the death penalty. Okay, so we agree. Yeah, so it's talking about the word naham. So let me show you guys what that word is. I'm pretty sure that's what the word is because it's talked about death penalty. Exodus 21, verse 20 to 21. Ambiguity. All right, so there you go. It's talking about the word naham. So the word naham is there you go. It's the same word right here, guys. Naham, which means to be punished and things like that. So let's look how this word is being used. Okay, never mind. Back up. So it can mean avenge, vengeance, revenge, take, punish. So vengeance, right? So when you take vengeance on somebody, look, the perfect. This word is also used in Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord said to him, therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. Like when this was happening, the ancient Near East. Okay, I can show you right here. The law of Namu, it says it right here. So you got the law of Hammurabi is from 1792 to 1750 BC. We have the town of Ashuna, which is 1800 BC. Then we have the king of Lipt, Ishtar, is 1930 BC. And we have old Babylonian copies from the 1900s to the 1700 BC. And the of Namu law code doesn't really say, but these things are dated a long, long time. So keep this in mind. These things are dated a while back. And it's crazy how people so long ago were documenting the things that they're willing to like understand and stuff like that. You know the phrase that it says that history is written by the victor? I disagree with that. I think history is written by the literate. Whoever is literate and who could write, that's what history is about. History is not for, because sometimes we don't always get the perspective of the victor most of the times or sometimes. It's written by those who are literate. So we have to keep that in mind. Something that I've learned. So which is also supported by the witness of the SP. Oh, that's what you asked in TP. Okay, I misunderstood your question. Um, that's a good question. So there's different perspectives that believe that there was more humans on the earth besides Cain and Abel. So we do believe that there were more people on the earth besides Cain and Abel. So that's a different perspective of it, and that's the perspective I will hold to as well. Yeah, that's probably one of the books I need to study more in depth is Genesis, but that's a perspective of the reading in Genesis of that verse is that there were people on the earth as well when Cain and Abel. Which is also supported by the witness of the SP and should be read as he should be put to death. All right. The law further suggests should the beaten slave survive the next day, considering that some further conditions may arise so that the master striking may not be the direct cause to kill the slave. The master thus avoids being accused as a murderer. On the other hand, striking a slave to death at the scene signifies that the owner intends to kill. So his behavior should be regarded as a crime. The group of laws in Exodus chapter 21, verse 23 to 28 has been considered to be the type of lex talionis. However, the punishment in Exodus 21, verse 26 to 27 applies neither the principle of lex talionis nor the general pecuniary. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Let's see. Let's search up that word. Relating or to be connected with money. Oh, interesting. Okay. However, the punishment in Exodus 21, verse 26 to 27 applies neither the principle of okay, I read that one. Compensation and the way that most ancient Near East laws do with regard to a slave who has been injured by his master or other third parties. Exodus 21, verse 26 to 27 goes beyond lex talionis. It commands the master to release the injured slave while also recognizing that because the slave is the owner's Exodus 21 to 23 to 28, the owner himself could not be punished. However, outside of Israel, the release of an injured slave is an idea that most ancient Near East slave owners would never have considered. In the ancient Near East surroundings, as seen in LH 199, a slave injury is regarded as a matter of property damage, which requires only money compensation. B.S. Child points out that the law obviously seeks to prevent any kind of mistreatment towards the slaves by lumping together all injuries indiscriminately. Here, the slave is thus regarded as an oppressed human being. For this reason, the loss of a tooth represents an act of abuse as well as the loss of an eye. So you guys see that? We have scholars agreeing that in the ancient Near East, they would have never thought. Let me show you. And let me find it. Snap, I lost mine. It said it right here. All right, it says, however, the outside of Israel, the release of an injured slave is an idea that most ancient Near East slave owners would never have considered because it's all about property. They would not consider. They would not consider it. Not even in the slightest. So imagine that. So let's think about it. Because usually when most people read Exodus chapter 21, verse 20 to 21, they see the phrase remaining alive a day or two. So we see that according to their thinking and stuff like that, somebody will say now today, well, what happens if the slave dies in 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days? In the ancient Near East perspective, if the slaves survive a day or two, that means them getting hurt or them getting murked. Let's just say that. For example, let's just say the slave dies in 5 days, right? In their perspective, the slave dying in 5 days is not because of the beating. But in the ancient Near East, other laws, they believe that slave owners would have never considered it. They would have never considered it. So keep that in mind. They would never consider it. But in the Old Testament, they consider that you should let them free. So look what B.S. Child says. This is what he says. Points out that the law obviously seeks to prevent any kind of mistreatment towards slaves by lumping together all injuries indiscriminately. Here, the slave is thus regarded as an oppressed human being. For this reason, the loss of a tooth represents an act of abuse as well as the loss of an eye. So keep that in mind. Any sort of abuse. And I think Exodus chapter 21, verse 20 to 21 is regard created in his image, God just enslaving himself. But why create something to be a slave to your creation? God didn't create it. It's like it was already a practice in the ancient Near East laws. So let me give you an example, right? I've been thinking about this too, this question as well, because I get this question a lot, and I'm still trying to break it down if I'm being honest with you, TP Seeker. So I'm kind of like fledging this out a little bit. So I want you to walk with me, right? So slavery was already a big thing in the ancient Near East, in the ancient world, right? Everybody was practicing it, right? And God, what you call it, he's setting up boundaries. He's setting up things to prevent people from being abused, misused, walked over, because he's working with the people at that time, like how he works with us during this time. He's working with people at that time. So that's why you see part of his laws that say you should love your neighbor as you should love yourself, that you shouldn't mistreat foreigners or strangers, that you should love them as you love your brothers. So he's giving these laws and these concepts because God is building up something. He's building up good tendencies. You have to slowly build stuff out of people's heart. So let me give you an example. So child labor was a big thing, right? I looked up the law of child labor, right? And people try to get rid of child labor like quickly, and they were shut down, right? They used to go on strikes and stuff like that, but they were quickly shut down. But as time went on, and as they were progressively getting better and better and better and better and better, it took about 100 years for finally for child labor to cease in the UK and the US. So imagine every time they try to quickly make a change, they got shut down because it takes time to change the heart of people from generations to generations. We see that like throughout history, like I gave the example with child labor and things like that. And that's what God is doing. Like he's working with the hearts of people. And that's why you see in the New Testament, and the Old Testament, where you see concepts that you should love your neighbor as you should love yourself. Because everybody is a creature created by God. No, God did not create slaves. Uh, all knowing has nothing to do with God overriding people's free will. It was a it was an ancient Near East concept. Every ancient Near East laws did it, but the in the Old Testament, you see is given rules and regulations that you should care for the foreigners, care for those who are less fortunate. So it's building up those principles. Principles help drives out bad habits, but bad habits can't be driven out forcefully. They're able to be driven out from generations to generation, i.e., like I gave with child labor. It took the 100 years, 100 plus years to be exact, of that to be fully fledged out. Or even look at the 18th Amendment when prohibit where they got rid of drinking and stuff like that with alcohol and stuff like that with the 18th Amendment. That did not work. People forget that it did not work. People used to do it on the side. People used to do it in secret. The thing is, there was already a culture of drinking, so you can't take the drinking out of the culture just by saying, "Oh, we're banning this law and that's it." Because sometimes that's not how it works. Sometimes it needs to be fledged out of generations. Now, drinking, you don't see it as often. You probably see smoking more than drinking, but people don't get drunk often. But during the 1930s with the 18th Amendment, it was very common. And they wanted to pass the law, an amendment, and they thought it was going to change people. Just because you make a law about something doesn't make it the opportunity to actually change people. People caring about strangers wasn't something new. Well, we just read, I'm happy you point that out, TP. We just read how a slave in the ancient Near East that and other ancient Near East slave owners would never have considered in releasing an injured slave. They would have never considered that. Never. We have to keep that in mind. They would have never considered it. And if they would have never considered it, we have to take this in, because in the law, in the Old Testament law, it says you could let them go free. You could let them go scotch free, because you know why? You have oppressed him. And if you beat your slave and they die and the man commits murder, he shall be put to death according to the Old Testament laws. But in the ancient Near East, for the what you call it, for like the law of Hammurabi, the law of Namu, doesn't matter. You Gucci, you okay? Because it's your property. So we see it's nowhere near the same. And I think I kind of like that example with the 18th Amendment. I think I like that example. I think that example hits right to home. I'm gonna finish read this section, and I'm gonna head out, to be honest with you. Yeah. All right. It says the laws of Exodus 21, verse 20 to 21, and Exodus 21, verse 26 to 27 express the highest ethics concerning the treatment of slave, that even a chattel slave should be. Oh, no problem, TP, man. Hey, it's all love, man. If you hear me sound passionate, I'm just passionate about it. But it's all love, man. All love here, man. We're learners and stuff like that. Even if you disagree with me, I like the dialogue. I like the talks. I like the understanding. That's how you build genuine conversations. Genuine conversations. So express the highest ethics concerning the treatment of slave, that even a chattel slave should be treated as a person rather than as a property. The law attests that in addition to the Hebrew slave manumission laws of Exodus 21, Leviticus 25, and Deuteronomy 15, the biblical slave laws overall possesses a higher humanitarian respect for them as human beings than the ancient Near East counterparts. All right, I think I'm gonna stop right there. To be honest with you, let's bookmark this. All right, I don't know why my camera's not showing. All right, thank you guys for joining. I will be live streaming again on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. So I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. But I do live stream on TikTok. I think I'm gonna do TikTok Tuesday, Thursday. I don't know, man. I still don't know the schedule of TikTok. I just live stream whenever I feel like it. But yeah, I like the little study session, man, because I just want to give people free resources, free game, stuff like that. That's what expounding knowledge is all about, man. That's what my channel is all about. Just learning, growing. I definitely want to get a better argument for God and stuff like that, not rushing and stuff. Wait a second. All right, let me change it, man. All right, I'm gonna change the camera. Let me change the camera. Oh, I can't change the camera. Anyways, I hate having these issues. I despise it. I'm a famous individual, so I get called a lot. Really? Hey, man, me and you both actually. I love history more than I'm trying to get better in philosophy and stuff like that. So maybe over time I'll get better with philosophy, like the moral ethics, metaphysics. And I want to get better at speaking properly, and because I talk fast. So when I start talking fast, I stumble upon my words. So I want to get better at that so people can understand me, dissect the words, and receive it. Because history is interesting. So we talked about the law of Namu. I dislike being a famous individual. I dislike it. I dislike it with a passion. I dislike it. Anyways, I dislike it. Can I even hear myself? Yeah, okay, I can still hear myself. Okay. My screen is frozen, doesn't matter. But I hope you guys have a good one. TP Secret. I will be back Wednesday and Saturday, same time. Uh Hopefully my camera could be good. But yeah, you guys have a good one.